This is the third PhotoReactive magic shirt that I'm doing, and it's because the other two I feel are probably going to come out too dark because I've not actually finished them. They're in the washing machine. I'm risking it to do a third one without actually knowing the final results. So what I'm going to do with this one is another scrunch, because that gives me the largest amount of surface area on the front to actually do the painting. And then we're going to dye the back slightly different than the last two times. We'll see how it comes out. So, like I said the last couple of times, this shirt has not had soda ash on it. It's been washed to remove the sizing from the factory, but that is it. So I'm just going to go ahead and spread this out and do a quick scrunch. And this one isn't wet either, and I really hate tying when they're not wet. And before you ask, well, what about doing a symmetrical? Well, the problem with that is if you fold it just like this, then whatever you spray paint on this side is not going to match this side. I guess you could spray paint both sides, or airbrush, not spray paint. Paint both sides. I guess that's a possibility, and I might look into that. But the pattern would be the opposite, since the high points here are the low points here. Actually, that might turn out, now that I'm saying it. Okay, let's go ahead and do a scrunch. Alright, off to airbrush. Alright, I've already mixed the magic powder with the airbrush medium. So let's go ahead and start spraying. Alright, I'm going to stick this one in the dehydrator like I've been doing. 120 degrees probably for about 3 hours should take care of it. But don't jump forward too fast. I also went ahead and made up another scrunch. It's just a bandana, and it's really sad excuse for a scrunch. Looking at it, let's do that at least. Just so I can test with the remaining dye paint, whatever this is, spraying the front and the back. What I did for this scrunch is I went ahead and folded it in half first so that I can get a symmetrical pattern, and I'm thinking it's going to be different than what you would expect. So let's go ahead and spray this one too and get both of these going for the same video. Alright, so we'll go ahead and go with this. I'll stick it in the dehydrator, same 120 degrees for a couple hours, and go from here. Alright, if you watched the first two videos, you saw that the first one kind of worked, the second one completely did not work. So I'm hoping for success on this one. We'll see what happens. I'm thinking I used too much dye over the top, or over the back, however you want to look at it, of the design. So this time I'm using Dharma's Deep Orange. I've got soda ash mixed in directly and guar gum to thicken it slightly. So I'm just going to apply this and then we'll let it sit. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I can't let it go with just a single color. It's just not going to look like something I did. So I'm adding some of Dharma's Lemon Yellow as well, and just kind of randomly. This has not been thickened. Now I'm going to let it sit for 18 hours. It's been about 18 hours, so let's do the washout. Alright, let's take a look. Make sure I pick the correct side. Alright, so there it is. You can still see some of it. So I'm going to go ahead and wash this and we'll see what comes of this. Alright, let's see if I can do a bit of reveal here to let you see the actual color change. This is real time. So as you see, it reacts really quickly. Some of the colors take a little longer than others, but overall it's just a few seconds for it to take effect. Alright, so is there anything else I would do? I'm not sure what else I could do. I'd like to get more saturation in the colors overall. I'm not sure how I could apply more paint though. It would have to be some other type of design, and I'm going to have to just think through that, I guess. Since this one has no dye on it, it's solely just the paint, and it still has a lot of white spaces. So I'm looking at the actual picture that I took instead of just the video, and I have to say the colors on this actually look pretty good, especially the blue, yellow, mauve, red, pink, whatever that is, where it's all together in that bandana. This has a lot of potential. So what I'm thinking could be done is if the shirt is just done as a scrunch, airbrush all the colors, let it dry, open it up, re-scrunch it in a different type of scrunch, and keep doing that over and over and over, build up, I don't know, like 5 layers or more. I bet you could come up with a shirt that's really interesting. So that might be the next project. If anybody else has some suggestions, I'd love to hear it, because I think I'd still like to go forward with this after looking at the photos.